What is going on, YouTube? This is your boy Jordan JC back again on the Chicago Bears Breeze. And oh boy, we got a good one for this Sunday. Right before the Bears game is about to start in a few hours, we are getting reports from Jay Glazer of NFL Fox Sports that apparently on Wednesday in walkthroughs, Tyrique Stevenson left after he heard that he was getting demoted and that he wouldn't start the game against the Arizona Cardinals today. And there's some more context to that. I actually was about to get on here, and honestly, I was going to grill Tyrique Stevenson for throwing a tantrum. But apparently, Courtney Cronin has some more detail and context to this overall story, and we're about to get into it and just kind of overall talk about, is this deserved? Was Tyrique Stevenson the main focal point or the focus as to why the Chicago Bears lost against the Commanders? And what we can expect going forward, what needs to change, what's going on, and who should we be pointing the finger at, honestly, when it comes to this type of discipline and these rumors and things that are going on. Let's talk about it. So Courtney Cronin, again, is trying to kind of provide context on the report that Jay Glazer came out about Tyrique Stevenson leaving practice Wednesday upon finding out that he would be starting or he would not be starting versus Arizona. And here's what she had to say, and I'm going to read it word for word because I want to make sure that we are all on the same page with this. It says, Bears coaches and execs arrived at the decision to not start Stevenson on Tuesday and relayed that to the cornerback before Wednesday's practice, which was a walkthrough. I'm told that Stevenson did leave practice after the stretching period to gather himself and learning of his demotion from the starting lineup, but returned to practice after a couple minutes inside the locker room and came back out for the team periods during walkthrough. While Stevenson's teammates have expressed frustrations over how things went down in Washington, there wasn't anything confrontational due to the cornerback leaving walkthrough before returning. The plan for him today is to rotate in, similar to how the Bears used Terrell Smith in Washington. This isn't a permanent benching by any means. Sources that she spoke to said that this week have indicated to her that the Bears have strong beliefs still in Stevenson going forward and want to help hold him accountable and allow him to move past his actions that took away his focus from the Commanders game. And so really good context by Courtney Cronin. This is very good journalism. This is very good context because honestly, initially, when you're hearing of the juicy reports, and of course it sounds juicier, it sounds like a hotter topic when you hear Jay Glazer coming out talking about the fact that Tyrique Stevenson left and there was no context saying that, oh, well, he probably didn't come back, and now we can assume and think that, oh, well, he just threw a tantrum or he went off and he didn't like the fact that he was getting demoted when he got word of it. Well, with this context, it makes it a little bit more allowable, more palatable to the Bears fans. And for me, I put it like this. I've said all along that I think that discipline was needed. I feel like you don't just give him a slap on the wrist. I understand that there was a moment where he apologized to the team. He came out in the media and he apologized. He said, I have to, put my better foot forward when it comes to actually focusing on the game. You can't allow yourself to kind of get distracted. I'll learn from this. It's time to take notes and to mature and to be better. And trust me, I'll be better going forward. You love to hear that. But of course, I've even said it on the Daily Show that I think that when a person apologizes, we've seen it all through sports, that there's a little bit of a show to it, in my opinion. You've seen some people get on, get in the media and in front of the media and in front of us in the crowd and say, I apologize for my actions. These are things that are not becoming of me. This is not who I am as a person. This is not my natural attitude and things of that nature to try and kind of cover over a mask over their mistakes, right? Some bigger than others. And then they go right back to doing it, right? Because it truly is actually part of their personality. Well, with this instance, I said, I think Tyrique Stevenson needs to actually feel this a little bit more because if you're saying, well, was he the reason or a big reason why the Bears lost the game? Well, I would like to say yes. Obviously, there were smaller things that led up to it. The Shane Waldron call with the Doug Kramer trying to put it in at the one. If we'd have scored that on a normal play to Roshan, probably we'd be up and there wouldn't be an issue about them throwing a Hail Mary at the end of the game because it wouldn't have mattered. True indeed. But because we were in that situation, and that Tyrique Stevenson actually was assigned to guarding Noah Brown in the back of the field, he's the one that caught the ball. You saw him distracted by taunting the crowd and thinking that, oh, it's over. You all are talking crazy. It's time to go home. And then he runs and scampers back into the play at the last second. And then also being the one that tipped the ball gently to Noah Brown. Like, you can kind of put a lot of the percentage of the reason why we lost on Tyrique Stevenson. And so I like the fact that they're doing this. I like the discipline. I think that it's sufficient. I don't think this is someone who needs to get completely benched for the entire game. I think the Tyrique Stevenson, I even said go as far as maybe keeping him out a half, but apparently they're going to do a thing where they switch him out, maybe give him about 23 or so snaps during the game. And I think that's feasible because at the end of the day, if we're being honest, Tyrique Stevenson is a talent. He's shown himself to be a talent. This is a sure tackler at the cornerback position. He's not afraid of contact. He's not afraid of getting inside the grill of the wide receiver. You know that. I know that. You know that he has no problem with his confidence level. It's just a matter of how he goes about his business and making sure that he doesn't hurt the team with dumb penalties and things of that nature, or losing focus on his routes, losing focus in the game, and being focused and tapped in on his assignment at all times until that clock hits zero in the fourth quarter. And so having him not start, yes, that's good discipline. But having him not completely playing the game, I don't think that's to the Bears' advantage, especially with all of these different injuries that we're dealing with. Kyler Gordon out, with Jaquan Brisker's probably still having an issue with the CTE and the concussion protocol still being an issue with him. They're still saying that he's showing signs of that, and so symptoms of that, I should say. And so that's important to watch. Like, we need as many healthy bodies as possible to be playing so that we can win. This is a must win on many fronts. We talked about it on the Daily Live show on the Windy City Breeze that this is a must win for Eberflus. This is a must win for this team to keep them in the hunt in the NFC North, but also to make sure that Eberflus doesn't lose his job and that he's not on the hot seat even more. Because if they lose this game, there will be a lot of eyes on that coaching staff, including the head coach. And so, again, love that Courtney Cronin came out with the context of the fact that he did come back. It's natural for a person to feel some type of way, even if he felt like, you know what, I did enough by apologizing. If he feels like, you know what, let me take a minute to cool off. I don't like the fact that I was demoted, because who does? As a human, of course, we don't like being demoted, but it's understandable because you have to hold yourself accountable to, and you hold yourself to a higher standard. I mentioned this before. The Bears organization and the team, they have to implement a new culture, and it starts with holding each other accountable. The Bears players in the locker room, they didn't like what Tyrique Stevenson did, and of course, a lot of things do need to stay in house when it comes to, you know, the conversations that they have with each other, you know, holding each other accountable. Probably some more harsher comments or harsher conversations need to be had, or whatever the case may be. Men are going to be men, obviously, when it comes to sports and the physicality and the mentality of that game. But when it comes to the discipline, I think it was well deserved in a sense. I think this is the proper discipline. I don't think it needs to go any further. And the fact that Tyrique Stevenson did say, you know what, let me cool off, and then came back respectfully and then completed walkthroughs on Wednesday, that says a lot, because it'll be completely different if he left and never returned, in a sense, throwing a tantrum. And so I will say kudos to Tyrique for doing what probably most people would do. Just take a second to collect themselves, but then at the same time saying, you know what, all right, fine. I did what I needed to do. I need to face the noise, and now let's get on with business. So hopefully this is a lesson in maturity. Hopefully this is a lesson in development for him as a man, as a 24-year-old. You know, you still have to remember, these are young men. These are young people playing a sport, a violent sport. And so there are going to be times where maybe immaturity just kind of sets in. And so thankfully this could be a good thing going forward if done right. And so again, hopefully all of this turns into us talking about a win come Monday, because I believe that the Arizona Cardinals are a team that you can take advantage of. They're not a walkover. They have some really good pieces in Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, James Conner, and obviously we already know Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a special wide receiver. And so we have to be all locked in, and we have to be focused in this game. The Bears players have to be focused, and obviously that also includes Tyrique Stevenson. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. How do you feel about the discipline? How do you feel about the context that was given by Courtney Cronin? Shout out to her as a reporter, as an analyst, for giving us a little bit more detail so that we don't kind of just go nuts with this story and what Jay Glazer had to say, but at the same time making sure that, you know, a person holds himself accountable. How do you think that it was the right level of discipline? Do you think that maybe it shouldn't needed to be that way because of him apologizing? Let me get how you feel. Obviously, I'll be down there with you in the comment section. And as always, if you like this video, show some class. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video with others. I'll see you guys on the next Bears Breeze.